Right, so if you've been following sporting news lately, the NBA is currently negotiating their broadcast rights, and the NFL just announced their most recent schedule. Both of them look like they're going to be making the shift into adding some streaming, and in the NBA's case, it looks like they're going to drop one of their longtime partners, TNT. They're pretty much acting like that deal's already done. For everyone that's so concerned over inside the NBA and Kevin Harlan, guys, somebody's going to hire them. They'll be fine. Kevin Harlan's not going to be unemployed. He'll be calling NBA games for somebody. Charles Barkley, Kenny, Ernie Johnson might just stay at Turner. Who knows? But they'll be fine. But I want to save some of the NBA talk until we get much closer to those deals actually being announced, because there's a lot of rumored things that we'll get to later. I'll save till the end, just speculation stuff. The NBA, the NFL, we have a lot more definitive answers, so we'll talk about that. First off, the big thing is they announced they're going to start putting games on Netflix. They already had Prime Video last year. They're going to put more games on Peacock. And everyone's like, why would they do this? They have 20 total games streaming exclusive games this year, 20 of them, between Peacock, Prime Video, and Netflix, including YouTube TV has Sunday Ticket and Red Zone, and NFL Plus, which is the NFL's own streaming app. Why go to streaming? Well, the first thing is, this is according to Forbes.com. In the first half of 2023, 93 billion hours were spent on Netflix. I don't think you hear me. 93 billion hours were spent on Netflix. That equates to almost 11,000 years of television were watched on Netflix between all of its users. So the big thing I want us to look at is audience. Netflix is available in 190 countries. Prime Video, who the NFL is already affiliated with, is available in over 200 countries. Peacock is only available in the US and US territories, but I think they just threw that one in there as a favor to NBC, who's trying to grow their streaming service as is. Now let's look at their regular broadcasting partners. CBS, US territories. NBC, US and US territories, but you can get it in Canada and Mexico if you're willing to pay for pay-per-view. Fox is the exception with 28 different countries, but some of those are just Fox News. Some of them are Fox Regular. That gets a little iffy as to which ones actually get the NFL and which ones don't. I spent way too long trying to research this and was not able to find a definitive answer. Go talk to the Murdoch family. They'll be able to answer better than me. So they're expanding their reach on an international scale. There's a reason the NFL keeps having these international games. There's a Friday game to start the season this year after the season opener. September 6th, the Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles in Sao Paulo, Brazil. They're playing in South America for the first time. They had games in Germany last year. They have games in London. They had a preseason game in Tokyo in the 90s at some point. They're trying to bring that back. They played games in Mexico. Like, the NFL is trying up on a global scale. And would you like to know why? Because they've hit their ceiling in the United States. According to Sportico, who was citing Nielsen ratings, 93 of the top 100 broadcast programs last year were NFL games. 93 of them. The NFL has America on lock. I know that some of you don't actually know what Nielsen ratings are. Let me explain. Nielsen ratings are defined as, this is straight from dictionary.com, an estimate of total number of viewers for a particular television program expressed as a percentage of the total number of viewers whose television sets are on at the same time based on a monitoring of the sets of a pre-selected sample of viewers. See how that's a little more vague? That'll come up later. In 2017, the company announced that it'll add some subscription video on demand audiences to its measures. So for people that watch streaming services that we mentioned before that the NFL's partner with, they were able to throw that in. And the ratings measure per household, not per person. That's all going to be important, because that brings me over to the last point and the most important point as to why the NFL and the NBA are going to move more towards streaming platforms. It's because of the data it provides. Now, this is just from Amazon, who the NFL has already partnered with. This is just the data Amazon has of you already. So if you have Amazon or Amazon Prime, Amazon already has this. You've lost the fight. They have your name, address, phone number, payment information, age, location, IP address, voice recordings, corporate financial information, and much, 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 much more. Those are the ones that are relevant for this conversation, but it's pages upon pages of stuff that Amazon has on you. All the information Amazon needs. And this is not a conspiracy tinfoil hat, Big Brother is watching you, blah, blah, blah. No. If you're an average citizen, you've already lost the data battle. It's just a matter of time. What this is me saying is, with all the data that they're able to gather from these streaming services, you see how that's different from a Nielsen rating where they can't even tell you how many people are watching a television at a given time. Instead of now saying, oh, well, a couple TVs in this area were watching this, they'll be able to say, all right, 1 million black men ages 18 to 34 that live in Georgia watch the Atlanta Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints on Prime Video. I'm not even sure if that's a game. That's just an example. That is invaluable information to the NFL because that's data they can give to their partners, whether it be advertisers or anything else. When they're trying to target ads and sell stuff, they know exactly where to go, especially now that they're going to start expanding and trying to get international. Of the 190 countries that Netflix has, they're going to look at that Christmas game and say, hey, in Uzbekistan or wherever, NFL did a real high number on Christmas. How about we have a game there next year? The play's right in front of you. And the NFL knows that we're all fucking junkies in the US. We're gonna watch football anyways. There's not much room for growth left in the United States for the NFL. Outside of the Taylor Swift influx of white teenage girls, but who knows how sustainable that is. Every other month, the far left or the far right starts a boycott the NFL movement, and none of it ever catches fire. Because the NFL knows we're Americans. We gonna watch us some football. And I've heard everything from it's gonna cost $800 a year to $1,600 a year if you count all the streaming services and whatnot to watch every single NFL game this upcoming season. Well, one, that's why piracy exists. And two, the people who can't figure out piracy are going to pay it. Or they're just not going to watch some of them games. But I bet you them ratings won't be affected. Because for all those other countries they're expanding to that don't have a CBS, don't have an NBC, don't have a Fox, that's going to be their only option to watch. So the number is still going to skyrocket. It's all the play. Lastly, how does this apply to the NBA? ESPN deal is already locked up according to every single report. There's gonna be more games on Disney Plus, gonna be more games on Hulu, so they can get into the streaming game that way as well. They've done the YouTube TV deal for the finals, I want to say for the past 5 years or so. But according to the Wall Street Journal, Jeff Bezos and Amazon are trying to creep into the bidding war, see if they can get them some streaming games. So it's quite possible the NBA is trying to get into the streaming race so they can get their hands on some of that data so they can start working it too. And the thing is with the NBA and their streaming and TV ratings, the TV ratings aren't as high, but their social media impressions are through the roof. So how much sense is it going to make in the long haul for them to stay on linear television when that's not where their audience is? And again, I'll say it again, for the inside the NBA people, you just love Charles Barkley and them, they will be fine. If I had to put my money on it and say, and guess, this is where the reckless speculation comes in. If I had to guess where inside the NBA is going to be next season, ESPN is the odds-on favorite. Ernie Johnson has been with TNT since the dinosaur era, so I doubt he leaves. So ESPN's gonna give them a new host for Inside the NBA. Y'all are not gonna like my answer as to who the host is, but the host answer is clear, and it's Malika Andrews. For whatever reason, NBA Twitter doesn't like Malika Andrews, but she's the clear answer for who the host of that show is going to be. She's the best host they have. So to recap, the NFL is coming after all your data. Hide your kids, hide your wife. I'm joking. Most of you already have these streaming platforms anyway, so who cares? NBA will talk more about once these streaming deals are actually done. And we're all going to watch our sports regardless. If not, find a piracy site that works for you. Cool? Cool. This has been the Kev BK Beloved Show. I've been Kev BK Beloved. Catch y'all next week.